By 2050, Elon Musk claims we'll have 1 million people living on Mars. This is one of many bold promises he's made about humanity's future on the red planet. While it sounds thrilling, it's far from realistic, and certainly not the first time Musk has made such ambitious statements. In this video, we'll explore various things Musk has said about Mars, from minimizing radiation risks to his idea of dropping nuclear bombs on the planet's poles to create an atmosphere. We'll also assess the truth behind these claims and explore what it would actually take to make them a reality. In January 2020, Musk announced his goal to have 1 million people on Mars by 2050. He outlined his plan on Twitter, stating that he'd build a fleet of 1,000 starships, each capable of carrying 100 people. If all these starships took off one after the other, we'd have 100,000 people on Mars in a short time. Repeating this process 10 times would supposedly result in 1 million people living on the planet. However, achieving this is far from simple. One major obstacle is timing. To minimize fuel consumption, launches need to occur when Earth and Mars are aligned, which only happens once every 26 months. Over 21 years, that gives us just 10 launch windows. In each window, we'd need to fly 100,000 people to Mars. With each starship carrying just 100 passengers, this means the first batch of 100,000 Martians would need to be on Mars by 2029, which is rapidly approaching. But there's more to consider. SpaceX would need thousands of reusable starships to achieve this plan, but they're still working on developing even one. Although they've made progress, they're behind schedule. In 2021, Musk said starships would have flown many times by 2023. As of now, the first successful Starship launch only occurred in 2024, and even that mission ended with the ship disintegrating during re-entry. Musk has now pushed the timeline back, predicting that humans will land on Mars by 2029. For Musk's vision of 1 million people on Mars by 2050 to come true, several things must happen. SpaceX would need to figure out how to make starships reusable, build 1,000 of them quickly, send crews ahead to build a base that can house 100,000 people, and find a large number of volunteers willing to live in Mars' harsh environment. All of this, while launching thousands of rockets and spending trillions of dollars. It's an enormous task, and far from guaranteed. Beyond just getting to Mars, Musk has made other claims that are worth scrutinizing. For example, he suggests that the Starship will spin to create gravity during the journey to Mars. While this could help future astronauts, creating artificial gravity isn't as straightforward as it sounds. One way to generate gravity is to spin the ship, but for the effect to be barely noticeable, the spacecraft would need a diameter of 112 meters, the size of a football field. In contrast, the current Starship is only 9 meters in diameter. Other options, like using two spacecrafts connected by a cable and spinning them around each other, have never been tested. Once humans land on Mars, they'll face a whole new set of challenges, including Mars' lower gravity, which is only 38% of Earth's. This could have significant effects on human health, and Musk hasn't offered many solutions to this issue yet. He also hasn't addressed the severe radiation risks. Cosmic rays and solar radiation are major threats in space and on Mars, and Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field, which protect us from radiation, don't exist on Mars. Musk has downplayed these dangers, but in reality, long-term exposure to radiation can cause cancer, damage the nervous system, and lead to serious health problems. Living on Mars will also require solving problems like where people will live. Musk has suggested that Martians might live in glass domes for the first 100 years. While this sounds like a sci-fi dream, it's not very practical. Mars' extreme temperatures, radiation, and lack of air pressure make building and maintaining these domes incredibly difficult and expensive. Instead, living underground or in Mars lava tubes would offer better protection but lack the appeal of a futuristic Martian city. Growing food on Mars presents another challenge. Musk has proposed growing plants through underground hydroponics powered by solar panels. However, Mars receives much less sunlight than Earth, and frequent dust storms make relying on solar energy unreliable. While nuclear power could be a better energy solution, growing enough food for a population of 1 million through hydroponics, which is expensive and labor-intensive, would still be incredibly difficult. Furthermore, many types of crops, such as wheat and corn, don't thrive in hydroponic systems. Perhaps Musk's most far-fetched idea is to terraform Mars by dropping nuclear bombs on its poles to release carbon dioxide, which would theoretically thicken the atmosphere. However, there isn't enough CO2 trapped in Mars poles to make a significant difference. And even if we did release the CO2, Mars' lack of a magnetic field would mean that the atmosphere would eventually dissipate into space. In conclusion, while Musk's vision of getting humans to Mars is admirable, it's unlikely that we'll have 1 million people there by 2050. His claims about solving Mars' many challenges, from radiation and gravity to food production and terraforming, are overly optimistic and often unrealistic. However, Musk's efforts are helping push the boundaries of space exploration, and while we may not reach Mars as soon as he predicts, it's clear that he'll play a significant role in our journey toward becoming an interplanetary species. Mars, after all, is just the beginning.